الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومطاعنا محمدا عبده ورسوله. فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون. نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة، ولكم فيها ما تشتهي أنفسكم ولكم فيها ما تدعون، نزلا من غفور رحيم. صدق الله العظيم. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: ألا وإن الدنيا عرض حاضر يأكل منه البر والفاجر، ألا وإن الآخرة أجل صادق يقضي فيها ملك عادل قادر يحق الحق ويبطل الباطل، ألا وإن الخير كله بحذافيره في الجنة، ألا وإن الشر كله بحذافيره في النار. ألا فاعملوا وأنتم من الله على حذر، واعلموا أنكم معروضون على أعمالكم، فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره، ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره، أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Respected ulama ikram, elders, beloved brothers in Islam, Allah's greatness, Allah's azmat, Allah's kibriyai, Allah's jalal, Allah's majesty, this is wara'ul wara, beyond human comprehension. Akbar min kulli kabir, aqwa min kulli qawi, a'az min kulli aziz, a'zam min kulli azim, ajal min kulli jalil, greater than anything with greatness, more majestic than anything with majesty, more powerful than anything with power, more than anything with might, more glorious than anything with glory. وهو الذي في السماء إله وفي الأرض إله. He is the ilah of the heavens, He is the ilah of the earth. ليس معه إله يخشى ولا وزير يرجى ولا حاجب يرشى. There is no other ilah that has to be feared. There is no other Rabb upon whom there can be hope. There is no advisor with Allah. There is no minister with Allah. He is Ahad. He is Samad. له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وما بينهما وما تحت الثرى. ألا إن لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. ألا إن لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. Everything in the heavens, everything in the earth, everything between the heavens and the earth, everything beneath this earth, every cell in our bodies, every atom in this universe belongs to Allah. It is His Hakimiyyat, His Hukumiyyat, His Samadiyyat, His Jabariyyat that is muhit, that encompasses every facet of this creation. So that nothing moves, nothing stops moving, nothing lives, nothing dies, nothing advances, nothing declines, nothing benefits, nothing harms. In the heavens, in the earth, except with the permission, qudrat, will and irada of one Allah alone. Sabbaha lillah ma fi samawat wa ma fi al-ard. What does Quran tell us? Ma fi samawat wa ma fi al-ard. Everything in the heavens and everything in the earth makes tasbih of Allah, glorifies Allah, praises Allah. This is i'jaz of Quran. That somewhere Allah says, Sabbaha lillah. That's why in the Quran, Yusabbihu lillah. Tusabbihu lillah. Sabbaha, past tense. Yusabbihu, tusabbihu. This has, ulama explain, meaning of takrar. Takrar, in other words, continuity, perpetuity. Yusabbihu, tusabbihu, present, future tense. Everything in the heavens, everything in the earth was making tasbih of Allah, is making tasbih of Allah, and will continue making tasbih of Allah. And then in the 30th juz of the Quran, Sabbih isma rabbika al-a'la. This is Amr, imperative. Where Allah is commanding. In the heavens, in the earth, everything make tasbih of Allah. ما في السماوات وما في الأرض تسبح له السماوات السبع والأرض ومن فيهن وإن من شيء إلا يسبح بحمده ولكن لا تفقهون تسبيحهم. All these verses, if you have to put them together, sabbaha, yusabbihu, tusabbihu. This creates an imagery, creates an understanding, creates perception that everything that exists in Allah, besides Allah, and Quran qualifies this, وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ. Insan, jinnat, you don't understand this. But what is the reality? Ma siwallah. What is besides Allah? The air is besides Allah. This masjid is besides Allah. This carpet, this mimbar, this mic, from the earth to the arsh of Allah. Everything besides Allah is in tasbih, is glorifying Allah, is praising Allah. When you look at this word tasbih, you ask someone, Subhanallah, look at tasbih, Subhanallah. What does Subhanallah mean? Glory be to Allah. It is a very basic understanding, very basic translation. Subhanallah, glory be to Allah. Ulama explain what is tasbih. They say tasbih, the actual meaning is tanzih. To declare Allah's purity. Purity from what? Purity from defect. Purity from shortcoming. Purity from negativity. Purity from ugliness. So besides Allah, beneath the earth, the surface of the earth, moving upwards, from the farsh to the arsh, from the earth to the arsh of Allah, everything that exists has weakness in it, has deficiency in it, has defect in it, has shortcoming in it. Subhanallah. Ya Allah, you alone are free of every defect, every shortcoming, every ugliness, every negativity. Every creation of Allah, multitudes and multitudes and multitudes of creation, What do we have at our disposal to perceive the vastness of Allah's creation? The human intellect. What is the human intellect? If you have to break it down, it's the brain. What is the brain? In reality, a piece of flesh. MashaAllah, they say Australia, New Zealand, there are more sheep than human beings. So we know what the sheep brain looks like. If you look at the sheep brain, you look at the human brain, it's very similar, just a piece of flesh. What is the reality? 100 billion nerve cells interconnected. Allah's progeny was directed towards a piece of flesh. And that capacity is created in a piece of flesh, in this brain. Understanding, comprehension, desire, passion, emotion, love, hatred, envy, jealousy, greed, malice, ambition, desire. An ocean of emotions, the capacity Allah creates in a piece of flesh. The brain of one human being, it's made up of fibers. They said if the fibers of the brain of one human being had to be opened up, it will form a rope. That rope will go from this masjid right up to the moon, around the moon and come back to this masjid. 580,000 kilometers long is the nerve fibers of the brain of one human being. And each millimeter of those nerve fibers contains the retentive capacity of 18 supercomputers put together. Where is this happening? Allah's tajalli, directed where? Fi butuni ummahatikum, in the womb of your mothers. Obviously we can understand this process of creation. Such complexity, such design, such ingenuity. Anything that is complex, you need a controlled environment. You need perfect balance. You need good lighting. The more intricate, particularly when there is very, very little margin for error, then everything has to be perfect and controlled. Yet where does Allah do this? Fi butuni ummahatikum, in the layers of your, in the womb of the mother. Is the lighting good? Is the environment controlled? What does Quran tell us? Fi dhulumatin thalat, in 3 layers of darkness. The darkness of the womb, the darkness of the stomach, the darkness of the placenta. غشيتك في غشاء لئلا تفضع من ظلمة الرحم. Mentioned in the riwayat, this fetus is covered in a veil, in a covering, لئلا تفضع من ظلمة الرحم, so that you do not become afraid of the darkness of the womb. علمتك الجلوس في بطن أمك. If you look at a fetus, now scientific technological advancement, they're able to have imagery of the fetus. You notice that the developing child is in a sitting position. We find in the narration it is mentioned, عَلَّمْتُكَ الْجُلُوسِ فِي بَطْنِ أُمِّكَ. You have to stay for 9 months. Not possible for you to stand for 9 months. So obviously, Allah gave you a sitting position. عَلَّمْتُكَ الْجُلُوسِ, in the womb of your mother. You needed to rest. Obviously you couldn't stand, you were sitting. So Allah gave you something to recline against. A pillow on the right side and a pillow on the left side. The pillow on the right side was the liver. The pillow on the left side was the spleen. What at one time is one cell. What is the size of one cell? You want to have an idea? It is said, take a centimeter. divide it into 100 million parts. That will give you the idea of the inception of this insan, one cell. Inside that cell, what is the size? Take a centimeter, divide it into 100 million parts. Inside that cell is what is called the DNA of the cell. That DNA is made up of 3.5 billion nucleotides, 3.5 billion characteristics. The level of information that it is said that if you have to record it, you will need 500 encyclopedias, each one 900 pages long, to record what is in the human genome sequence of one cell, the DNA of one cell. How small is this? Previously, in Arabic there is an expression, if you want to get to the depths of something, something is very small, they say juz la yatajazza. In other words, divide something and then divide it and then divide it and then divide it till it reaches the point where it is indivisible, not possible to divide it any further. This they call juz la yatajazza. Previously it was thought that juz la yatajazza, the smallest particle is an atom. Now they found inside the atom, 1 millionth the size of the atom is the nucleon and the proton. The complexity of Allah's creation, this is something we cannot ever come close to even fathoming. Such a tiny space, one cell, 3 layers of darkness, stage upon stage upon stage of creation. Various places in the Quran, Allah describes this. First message that comes across from all these various verses, I'm going to recite a few of them. One is the total, complete insignificance of this insan. Allah calls out, Hal ata ala al-insan حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. Hypothetical question Allah puts, that O insan, O human being, did there not pass upon you a period of time, حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا? Your dhikr was not made, no one spoke about you. You were a non-entity, you were nothing. Inna khalaqna al-insan, we created you. From what? Like I said, insignificance. Min nutfatin amshaj, from a mingling of sperm. Somewhere Allah says, mimma'in dafiq, from a spurt of liquid. Somewhere Allah says, mimma'in maheen, from a drop of worthless fluid. Alam yakun nutfa min maniyyin yumna, were you not just a drop of sperm? Afaraytum ma tumnun. Quran invites you, look at that seminal fluid. Antum takhluqunahu am nahnu al-khaliqun. Did you create it? When you look at that seminal fluid that emanates from the male, that is not one sperm cell. That is 200 to 300 million sperm cells. They start the journey. On the other side, in the fallopian tube, is the egg. From these 200 to 300 million sperm cells, only about 1,000 will reach the destination. The rest will die on the way. Finally, when they reach the destination, a matching process takes place. In that egg, there are 60,000 different codes. Amongst all these sperm cells, there is only one that has the matching 60,000 different codes. Finally, when this 1,000 plus minus reach, the matching process starts. If it doesn't match, rejected, then rejected, then rejected, then rejected. Where is this happening? In the womb of the mother. Like I said, is the lighting good? Is it a controlled circumstances? Is it a controlled circumstance? في ظلمات ثلاث, 3 layers of darkness. And a process of such technicality occurs that if you had a team of genetic scientists or zoology experts and gave them the best equipment, the best laboratory, gave them the latest scientific equipment, it will take them 2.5 to 3 years to carry out what occurs in the womb of this woman in the space of 2.5 to 3 hours in 3 layers of darkness. Finally, even when the matching one is found, there is an infinitesimal pause. If from above the command comes, mukhallaqa, takhleeq must take place, then only germination will occur. And even if the matching one is found, and from above the command is to come, ghayru mukhallaqa, takhleeq mustn't take place, this one also will be rejected. Why? Because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ما من نسمة كائنة إلى يوم القيامة إلا وهو كائنة. No human being is born through a biological accident. It's not a chance. لله ملك السماوات والأرض يخلق ما يشاء يهب لمن يشاء إناثا ويهب لمن يشاء الذكور أو يزوجهم ذكرانا وإناثا ويجعل من يشاء عقيما إنه عليم قدير. To Allah belongs the kingdom, the dominion, the ownership of the heavens and the earth. يخلق ما يشاء. Allah creates what He wants. You are not existing of your own accord. You are the makhluq in creation of Allah. Your existence, وَرَبُّكَ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيَخْتَارُ مَا كَانَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ. Allah is Rabb. And part of the legacy of what is Rabb, وَرَبُّكَ, your Rabb, يَخْلُقُ, creates, مَا يَشَاءُ, whatever He wants, يَخْتَارُ, and He chooses. No human being requisitioned or petitioned Allah, make me male, make me female, make me tall, make me short, give me white skin, brown skin, make my eyes this color, or give me this type of physique. No one requisitioned Allah. Yakhtar, Allah chooses, Allah decides. ما كان لهم الخيرة, ما كان لهم الخيرة. No choice was given to any human being. يخلق ما يشاء. Allah creates what He wants. Sometimes they want male children, female children are coming. Sometimes they want female children, male children are coming. Sometimes they don't want children, practicing contraception. Always, still the child comes. Sometimes they want children, going to this fertility expert, IVF treatment, trying whatever medical science has at its disposal, still no children are coming. يَهَبُ لِمَن يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا وَيَهَبُ لِمَن يَشَاءُ الذُّكُورَ. Allah gives males to whom He wants, females to whom He wants, pairs to whom He wants, makes barren whom He wants. إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ قَدِيرٌ. The owner of complete knowledge, the owner of complete qudrat is one Allah. Even if the matching one is found, there is a pause. If Allah's command comes, germination occurs. And what is the first thing that is created? The first thing that is created is the heart of this insan. That is why you and I, every one of us, the oldest organ in the body is the heart. In this is an underlying message. This heart has to become the arsh of Allah. This heart has to recognize Allah. The qibla, the ruh, the direction of this heart has to become Allah. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ سُلَالَةٍ مِنْ طِينٍ ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا المضغة عظاما فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله فتبارك الله فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين. Allah says, verily we created this insan from an extract of clay. From an extract of clay he was made into a drop of sperm in a safe receptacle. From a drop of sperm into a clot of blood. From a clot of blood into a lump of flesh. Stage upon stage upon stage of creation. Somewhere an eye is being formed. Somewhere ears are being formed. Somewhere hands are being formed. Somewhere feet are being formed. Quran is inviting us. Ponder, reflect, understand the qudrat, the power, the greatness, the majesty, the kibriyai, the jalal, the azmat of Allah. You look at a motor car, made up of what? Complex piece of machinery. Somewhere there is a steering wheel, then there is seat, then there is engine, then there is clutch. Various different parts. This is supposed to be a testimony of human ingenuity, technological marvel. Whether it's the Japanese, whether it's the German, whether it's the Italian, whether it's a Ferrari or it's a Mercedes-Benz, today youngsters, mashallah, like Quran tells us, يَعْلَمُونَ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Tiny, tiny intricacies of this world they know. وَهُمْ عَنِ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ غَافِلُونَ. When it comes to akhirat, they are ghafil and negligent. If you look at this complex piece of machinery, technological marvel, each of these parts have to come together in perfect proportion. There are different artisans involved in designing, in manufacturing the steering wheel, manufacturing the brakes, manufacturing the clutch, the tapestry of the seats, whether it's a leather color, whether it's leather, whether it's a certain color, then all this has to be put together in huge, huge factories. If you want to try and comprehend the complexity of Allah's creation, Allah's greatness, call the Japanese and call the Germans and call the Italians and call all the scientists of the world. Hundreds of years of research, millions of dollars, and say to any one of them, pour all your resources together. You made a Ferrari, or you made a Mercedes-Benz, or you put together this technological marvel. Use all your resources and manufacture just one eye. One eye. أَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ عَيْنَيْنِ وَلِسَانًا وَشَفَتَيْنِ وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. That which Allah calls out, didn't we give you two eyes? Where are these eyes being manufactured? Who is the artisan? Certain shade, certain color, where's the dye coming from? Capacity to see in that eye, the complexity behind it. It is said 1 millimeter of the eye can accept 30,000 separate points of light in 1 second. These eyes, 130 million receptors for light Allah has kept in each eye. At the back of the eye there is a tiny hole. What is the size of that hole? 1/4 millimeter. Cable is running through that hole. That cable is made up of 1.3 million wires. A cable, 1.3 million wires passing through a hole. The size is 1/4 millimeter. At the back of the eye is the retina. Each time an image forms, around the retina the muscles flex to clear the retina so that the next image can come. This flexing of these muscles takes place 100,000 times a day. If those same muscles that will be put into your feet, it's the equivalent of walking 70 to 80 kilometers a day. Enabling these eyes to take 10 three-dimensional pictures every second, 800,000 pictures every day. Alam naj'allahu aynayn. Allah says, didn't we give you two eyes? Coming back, where were the eyes manufactured? In the womb of the mother. Statistics of 1990, 300,000 children are born every day. Normal period of pregnancy is 9 months, so do the maths. 300,000 times 30 times 9. Millions, if not billions, at any given time. What is the raw material? These eyes are being formed in the womb of the mother. What is she eating? If you look at a factory that has to produce a certain article, they need precise, basic raw material. They need a designer. This woman, sometimes she's drinking Coca-Cola, sometimes she's drinking Sprite, sometimes she's eating tomatoes, sometimes she's eating onions. Nowadays, the curries that we eat are such a mix-up of different things that the poor digestive system also gets confused. Indian curry with rice. I asked the brother earlier, Ishtima, what they're going to feed you for supper. He said, you know what, now it's been simplified. It's just going to be curry and rice. So different things are being eaten at any given time. Yet, an eye is being formed, ears are being formed, hands are being formed, feet are being formed. Such perfection, such design, such ingenuity. Where's the artisan? Where's the painter? How is it that the color is set in a certain proportion? How did the nose fix itself in its correct position? The eyes in the correct position, the lips in the correct position, the ears in the correct position. Where is all this happening? Fi dhulumatin thalath, in 3 layers of darkness. Stage upon stage upon stage of creation. More interestingly, what does Quran tell us? Wallahu khalaqa kulla dabbatin mimma. What is the origin of every human being, every living creation, every living creature? Wallahu khalaqa kulla dabbatin mimma. Allah has created every living thing out of water. Gather the scientists of the world, gather the technological marvels of the world, and ask them to give you shape in water, create shape in water. وَالَّذِي يُصَوِّرُكُمْ فِي الْأَرْحَامِ كَيْفَ يَشَاءُ. This tasweer, this shape, this form. How did it come into existence? Where is it happening? On water. Elsewhere, what does Allah tell us? وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَكُم مِّن تُرَابٍ. Allah created you from dust. Take sand, mix it up with water. What does it become? It becomes mud. What is Quran telling us? Every human being, every living creature on the surface of this earth, مِنْهُمْ مَن يَمْشِي عَلَى بَطْنِهِ, مِنْهُمْ مَن يَمْشِي عَلَى رِجْلَيْنِ, مِنْهُمْ مَن يَمْشِي عَلى أَرْبَعٍ. Some 2-legged, some 4-legged, some 100-legged, some crawling, some walking, some flying. Water and sand brought together. Minha khalaqnakum. You are invited to the graveyard. What was the dua that Rasulullah taught us? What are the verses of the Quran that my Nabi taught us? Look at that sand. Minha khalaqnakum. Wa fiha nu'idukum. Allah says, from dust, from sand we created you. That food which is being consumed by that mother during the period of her pregnancy, as you are growing, the food that you are consuming, where is it coming from? Look at that sand. Somewhere you planted an orange, somewhere you planted tomato, somewhere you planted cucumber, somewhere you planted pineapple. That's just a seed. Look at the sand, look at the seed, look at the water. Where is that shape? Where is that formation of a pineapple? Where is the formation of a coconut? Where is the formation of cucumber? Where is the formation of an orange? Where is the formation of an apple? Which dye factory does that sand have contact with? Which sugar mill? That beautiful luscious mango. You drink the juice, you wonder how sweet it is. You comment on the pineapple, how juicy and sweet it is. Quran is inviting you. أَمَّنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَأَنزَلَ لَكُم مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً فَأَنبَتْنَا بِهِ حَدَائِقَ ذَاتَ بَهْجَةٍ مَا كَانَ لَكُمْ أَن تُنبِتُوا شَجَرَهَا أَإِلَٰهٌ مَّعَ اللَّهِ أَإِلَٰهٌ مَّعَ اللَّهِ بَلْ هُمْ قَوْمٌ يَعْدِلُونَ أَمَّنْ جَعَلَ الْأَرْضَ قَرَارًا وَجَعَلَ خِلَالَهَا أَنْهَارًا وَجَعَلَ لَهَا رَوَاسِيَ وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَ الْبَحْرَيْنِ حَاجِزًا أَإِلَٰهٌ مَّعَ اللَّهِ بَلْ أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ وَيَجْعَلُكُمْ خُلَفَاءَ الْأَرْضِ أَإِلَٰهٌ مَّعَ اللَّهِ قَلِيلًا مَا تَذَكَّرُونَ أَمَّنْ يَبْدَأُ الْخَلْقَ ثُمَّ يُعِيدُهُ وَيَرْزُقُكُم مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ أَإِلَٰهٌ مَّعَ اللَّهِ قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Look at the manner in which Allah calls out. Allah appeals to the intellect of this man, of this insan. Ponder, reflect. Look at that mango, look at that apple, look at that orange, look at that cucumber. Look at the lettuce, look at the cabbage. Different taste, different color, different texture. Where in the sand is evidence of that? Where in the water is evidence of that? Just now you would sit on the dastarkhan. Look at the manner again, Quran calls out that food is in front of you. فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانِ فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانِ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ أَنَّا صَبَبْنَا الْمَاءَ صَبًّا ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ شَقًّا فَأَنبَتْنَا فِيهَا حَبًّا وَعِنَبًا وَقَضْبًا وَزَيْتُونًا وَنَخْلًا وَحَدَائِقَ غُلْبًا وَفَاكِهَةً وَأَبًّا مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ. This is imperative. Allah is commanding you. فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ, O insan, O human being. فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ. Look at that food in front of you. How did it come into existence? أَنَّا صَبَبْنَا الْمَاءَ صَبًّا. The rainwater is falling from the heavens. Scientifically they tell us every second 16 million tons of water from the earth goes into the atmosphere, and every second 16 million tons of water from the atmosphere comes back onto this earth. This proportion, this perfection, أَنَّا صَبَبْنَا الْمَاءَ صَبًّا ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ شَقًّا. How are the rainwaters falling? How was this earth split open? فَأَنبَتْنَا فِيهَا حَبًّا وَعِنَبًا وَقَضْبًا وَزَيْتُونًا وَنَخْلًا. Different fruits, different vegetation. Everything around us, within ourselves, external of ourselves, is shouting out this one sabak, this one lesson, this one reminder. Our noble master, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, an entire night he was crying. Just before the time of Fajr, our mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala says, Ya Rasulullah, what happened? Why are you crying like this? Every night you would cry. This was different. Very emotional. Crying inconsolably. He says to Aisha, Aisha, how can I not cry? When Jibreel has come with these verses of the Quran, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. Verily, في خلق السماوات والأرض, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, واختلاف الليل والنهار, and the variation of day and night, لآيات, are signs, لأولي الألباب, for the people of intelligence. Who are the people of intelligence? Quran tells us, this is a fallacy, this is a lie, this is a deception, that intelligence has anything to do with university degrees. A PhD, or you're a Harvard University graduate, or you're an Oxford University graduate, that such a person is regarded as intelligent. No issue with school degrees or university degrees. But what is the understanding of intelligence? Allah tells us what is intelligence. You ask the Oxford University graduate, the Harvard University graduate, that guy, how many eyes do you have? He'll tell you 2. How many ears? 2. How many fingers? 10. How many hair on your head? What formula are you going to use? Which computer are you going to use to analyze? How many hair on your head? How many hair on my head, your head, the head of every human being that did live, is living, and will live? All this is in the knowledge of Allah. This is Quran. All these verses that I have recited, this is Quran. And let us understand, my respected brothers, when Allah introduces Quran, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ, this is the book. First claim that Allah makes, La rayba fi. La rayba fi. There is absolutely no doubt in this Quran. وَبِالْحَقِّ أَنزَلْنَا وَبِالْحَقِّ نَزَلْ وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ صِدْقًا وَعَدْلًا لا مبدل لكلماته لا تبديل لكلمات الله إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل. Quran is the absolute truth. Very often I say this, English language, in fact any other language, compared to Arabic, is a dry language. Arabic, this is Lisanul Quran, Lisanul Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Lisanul Jannah. This is the language of Jannah, this is the language of the Quran. In English, when you translate, La rayba fi, there is no doubt. Doubt, you get different levels of doubt. There isn't only one level of doubt. Sometimes it's 60-40, sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 99 and 1%. English, everything doubt. Arabic, we find the different words. When the doubt is 60-40, 60% one side, 40% the other side, the word for it in Arabic is shak. بَلْ هُمْ فِي شَكٍ مِّنْهَا بَلْ هُمْ مِنْهَا عَمُونَ. Then you get a lower level of doubt, call it 80-20. That in Arabic is mirya. فَلَا تَكُ فِي مِرْيَةٍ مِّنْهَا. Then you get an almost negligible level of doubt. For example, if somebody every day is going home on a certain road, he reaches the last junction, he knows that his house is on the left. One night is raining, it's misty, so he can't see properly. He reaches the last juncture, every day he's going. When he reaches that juncture, in his heart he knows my house is on the left, but for one split millisecond, this thought enters the heart that maybe it's on the right. The moment the thought enters the heart, he immediately neutralizes it, that no, definitely it's on the left. That very, very slight level of doubt, that in Arabic is called ray. When Allah introduces the Quran, scientists can say what they want. The schools of the world can say what they want. The universities of the world can say what they want. The media can say what they want. Batil propaganda machinery can try and confuse you what is male, what is female, what is success, what is failure, what is wealth, what is loss, what is advancement, what is decline. The batil propaganda machinery around us can 24 hours of the day espouse whatever lies or theories they want to put forward. But when it comes to this Quran, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ, this is the book, لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, there isn't one iota of doubt in it. There is no confusion in the Quran. There is no exaggeration in the Quran. There is no ambiguity in the Quran. لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Look at the manner in which Quran introduces itself. There is no doubt in it. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is hidayat for the people of taqwa. What is the link? Ask ourselves this question. Why does Allah say, لَا رَيْبَ فِي هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ? There is no doubt in the Quran. This is hidayat. This is shart. This is a condition, ulama explain, for this Quran to become hidayat. The same Quran, Allah warns us, يُضِلُّ بِهِ كَثِيرًا وَيَهْدِي بِهِ كَثِيرًا. We will guide many through this Quran and we will deviate many through this Quran also. Quran, Rasulullah ﷺ said, مَنْ جَعَلَهُ أَمَامَهُ سَاقَهُ إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ. If my ummah will keep this Quran in front of them, this Quran will take them to Jannah. وَمَنْ جَعَلَهُ خَلْفَهُ. And if my ummah will turn their backs on this Quran, the same Quran, سَاقَهُ إِلَى النَّارِ, will take them to Jahannam. أَعَاذَنَا اللَّهُ فِيهَا. Allah protect us. لَا رَيْبَ فِي هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. He said there is no, Allah said there is no doubt. It is hidayat. Ulama saying this is shart, this is a condition. Otherwise, many first world countries, you find sometimes the dean, the head of the Islamic section of the university is a Christian or a Jew. Sometimes that person has written a commentary, an exegesis on the Quran, a masterpiece, a literary masterpiece. What was lacking? This was lacking. For this Quran to become hidayat, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. For this Quran to become hidayat, can't go and sun now. Listen with the ears of Iman. For this Quran to become hidayat, first condition, from the heart, from inside, this heart has to shout out, La rayba fi. There is absolutely no doubt in whatever Allah says in the Quran. يَمْحَقُ اللَّهُ الرِّبَى. Allah will destroy interest. Any economy based on interest is batil. It is destructive. يَمْحَقُ اللَّهُ الرِّبَى. Allah will destroy interest from inside. Never mind, the bank manager will prepare, mashallah, very fancy document. Win-win situation. You've got sufficient to place down the deposit. The monthly rental income will more than adequately meet the monthly installments. You can't possibly lose. Flowery language will be there. The document will be prepared. And on it, you will be asked, now sign. What outwardly, ostensibly, according to your logic, appears to be a win-win situation. What is Quran telling us? When you sign the document of riba, when you sign the document of interest, you are not signing some document. In reality, what are you doing? فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا فَآذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Know and understand that when you sign on the dotted line, you are in essence signing a writ, a declaration of war with Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How do you ever hope to win such a war? يَمْحَقُ اللَّهُ الرِّبَى. Allah will destroy riba, la rayba fi, from inside. يُرْبِ الصَّدَقَةِ. Outwardly, sadaqah, charity, spending in the way of Allah. If it's 100 and you spend 10, it becomes 90. What does Quran tell us? وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ. وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ. Whatever you will spend in the way of Allah, Allah will give it back to you. Not just give it back to you. مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يُقْرِضُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا فَيُضَاعِفَهُ لَهُ أَضْعَافًا كَثِيرًا. مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُم فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ كَمَثَلِ حَبَّةٍ أَنبَتَتْ سَبْعَ سَنَابِلَ فِي كُلِّ سُنبُلَةٍ مِائَةُ حَبَّةٍ. What are these verses telling us? One example, Allah says, like a grain of corn, one seed becomes 700, spend in the way of Allah. We will multiply it 700 times. Somewhere Allah says, أَضْعَافًا كَثِيرًا, many, many times. One place Allah says, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّ الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. We will give you so much you won't be able to count it also. Open hearts. What did my Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say? مَا نَقَصَ مَالُ عَبْدٍ مِّن صَدَقَةٍ. The wealth of no man diminished through spending in the way of Allah. What we call sakhawat, what we call generosity. Allah loves a generous person. Generosity. إِنَّ السَّخَاءَ شَجَرَةٌ مِّنَ الْجَنَّةِ أَغْصَانُهَا فِي الدُّنْيَا. My Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, generosity is a tree from Jannah. Generosity is a tree from Jannah. Its branches are in this world. The one who will be generous, he will attach himself, mazala, muta'alliqan, bighusniha. He will have attached himself to this branch till it will transport him right into Jannah. Ala wa inna al-lum. He said miserliness. Miserliness is from Jahannam. Its branches are in this world. If a person is miserly, he will attach himself to this branch of Jahannam till eventually, Allah protect us, it will transport him into Jahannam. Human nature is such that we tend to hold on. We don't want to spend. We don't want to give in the way of Allah. Generosity has to be brought and effort has to be made. This is Quran calling out. Once one Sahabi comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. أَيَكُونَ الْمُؤْمِنْ بَخِيلًا أَيَكُونَ الْمُؤْمِنْ بَخِيلًا. O Nabi of Allah, is it possible for a man to have Iman? For a man to have Iman and be miserly? Allah Rasul at this juncture, he said, yes, it is possible, but miserliness, what we call kanjusi. In Urdu they have that expression, they say makki choose. It squeezed the oil out of a fly. In no culture is miserliness favored in any way. It's frowned upon, it's looked down upon. Particularly in Islam. Allah's Rasul said, Allahu ajwadul ajwad. Allahu ajwadul ajwad. The most generous is Allah, and after Allah, I, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, am the most generous. In this we are being taught etiquettes of dawah, sifat of a da'i, qualities of a da'i. Every Nabi of Allah, more than 124,000 Anbiya alayhi salatu wassalam, 25 of them plus minus are mentioned in the Quran. With many of the Anbiya alayhi salatu wassalam, when Allah mentions them in the Quran, we find one particular quality being highlighted. Ma as'alukum alayhi min ajr. Ma as'alukum alayhi min ajr. In ajriya illa ala Allah. I don't want any return from you. I don't want any payment from you. My return will be from Allah. A da'i takes from Allah and gives to the makhluk. The gaze of a da'i never towards the makhluk. لا تخضعن لمخلوق على طمع. لا تخضعن لمخلوق على طمع. فإن ذلك مضل عنك بالدين. واسترزق الله. واسترزق الله مما في خزائنه فإنما هي بين الكهف والنور. Like the poet says. Before I translate that poem, Allah has created every two human beings on an equal footing. Every two human beings are on an equal footing until the day, until what day? Until the day that one stretches his hand out to the next. The day your gaze goes on the next person's pocket. The day you stretch your hand out to any makhluk of Allah. Al-yadul ulya khayrun min al-yadi sufla. That is the day when you stretch your hand out, that you denigrate yourself, humiliate yourself, and you raise up that person. أريد أن أكون أكرم الناس. أريد أن أكون أكرم الناس. The person came and asked. He said, I want to be the most honorable of people. I want the greatest respect. I want the greatest position. I want the greatest honor. What was the answer given? What is the road to honor? What is the road to respect? What is the road to dignity? لا تشك من أمرك شيئا إلى الخلق تكن أكرم الناس. لا تشك من أمرك شيئا إلى الخلق تكن أكرم الناس. Never reveal your need to any creation of Allah. There will be no one more honored than you. Place your gaze upon Allah. Ask from Allah. Take from Allah. Give to the creation. Majlis of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Time is limited. Qazi Ayaz rahimahullah in the Shifa mentions the riwayat. One occasion 30,000 dinars are gifted to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My Nabi spends and then spends and then spends. Till within a short space of time, everything is given. The word la, no, did not exist in the vocabulary of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whatever he had, he gave it. One person comes. There is nothing, everything is given. He asks. Allah's Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam says to him, Ma indi shay, there's nothing with me. Go into the marketplace, purchase whatever you need on my name. فَإِذَا جَاءَنَا شَيْءٌ قَضَيْنَاهُ. When Allah sends something for me, I will pay the debt on your behalf. Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he hears this, out of concern for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he becomes upset. He can't contain himself. Such was the nature of Umar. He was an open book. مَا كَلَّفَكَ اللَّهُ وَلَا تَقْدِرْ. He says, Ya Rasulullah, Allah has not commanded you with that which is beyond your ability. Whatever you had, you gave it. Now you are incurring debt in order to spend on others. مَا كَلَّفَكَ اللَّهُ وَلَا تَقْدِرْ. Allah has not commanded you with that which is beyond your ability. Allah's Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was not like you and I. Sometimes we want to, heart is brimming over with hatred for someone, yet we smile at him. We're upset, but we don't show it. We keep the negativity inside, let it fester. Allah's Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was an open book. When he would become upset, Sahaba say, كَأَنَّمَا فُقِعَ عَلَى وَجْهِ حَبَّةُ الرُّمَّانِ. His cheeks would turn red, as if pomegranate juice had been sprinkled on the cheeks of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There wasn't this cunning or hiding thing. When he hears this demonstration of Umar, he becomes upset, visibly upset. Another Sahabi observing this, normally our nature is such. When the fire is burning, instead of putting water, we want to put petrol on the fire. We add to the problem. Sahaba, their hearts were clean. So when another Sahabi observes this, immediately he puts water. What is the reaction? Anfiq, Anfiq, Ya Rasulallah. وَلَا تَخْشَ مِنْ ذِي الْعَرْشِ إِقْلَالًا. O Nabi of Allah, spend. O Nabi of Allah, spend, and do not fear any shortage from the owner of the Arsh. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam hears this, Sahaba say he becomes visibly happy. And he turns to that Sahabi and he says, Bihada umirtu. Bihada umirtu. Allah has commanded me with this. This is what I have been commanded. الشاطر السخي أحب إلى الله من الصوفي البخيل. The Aslaf used to say, Shatir means a cunning, in other words, a sinner. A sinner who is generous is more beloved in the sight of Allah than a Sufi who is miserly. Al-Bakhilu, Ba'idun min Allah, Ba'idun min al-Nas, Ba'idun min al-Jannah. Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, a miserly person will be far away from Allah, far away from the people also, far away from Jannah also. Aynuda, Adwa min al-Bukhl. Rasulullah, mafhum al-Hadith, he said, what sickness can be worse than miserliness? Allah loves a generous person. Opportunity, tolerance, rope that is given to a generous person. Maulana Yunus Puna, rahmatullahi wa rahmatullahi, Akabiri, he passed away now. He would very often give this example about Khusru Parvez. Khusru Parvez was the ruler of the Persian Empire. Kafir, he died on kufr. Yet ulama had mentioned that this man by nature was very, very generous. So because of his generosity, despite his kufr, Allah gave him a long kingdom. There's one incident mentioned about him. That once there was a fisherman. He caught one fish and he decided to present it to King Khusro Parvez. So, simple fish comes into the court of the king effusively and he presents it as a gift. So Khusro Parvez, when he sees this fish, he becomes so happy. He was a man generous by nature. He orders his treasurer, give him 4,000 dinars, 4,000 coins of gold. His wife becomes upset. Her name was Shirin. Very often people say, I am the boss in my house, but I have my wife's permission to say so. Like one person, he went into the bookshop and he said, I'm looking for a certain book. They asked him what book. He said, Husband, Master of the House. Husband, Master of the House. They said, comics and fiction you'll find upstairs. Today the homes are on fire. Homes are on fire. Why? That's another topic. We're not going to go into the details. But the homes are on fire. Why? Because the homes have become devoid and empty of the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His moral compass, what he taught us, what it means to be a husband, what it means to be a wife. I remember many years ago, our Jamaat was in one town in Jordan, right in the mountain. This was 1995 plus minus. A place called Jiza. I always remember this because it was the first time in my life I entered a home of a person, literally. Literally, when you see this home, you are reminded of the homes of Sahaba. There was nothing in this home, empty, carved into a cave. His bed was a slab of rock on which there was a thin sheet. Had one oil lantern and there was nothing else. But like I said, I'm digressing. Cry tears of blood. Cry tears of blood, my respected brothers. Even in a place like that where there's such poverty, such simplicity, you could still see the satellite dishes outside the home. Instruments of zina. Today you walk into a Muslim home, what's the first thing? Embrace it. That plasma screen. They say so many million pixels. Now they got curved plasma screen. What is it? Father, mother and children sitting together looking at zina taking place. Zulmat entering the homes of the ummah. That, our elders tell us, they say that nation which is habitual of shamelessness, the so-called sweet ecstasy of their hayai, of shamelessness, has clogged their blood vessels. They say to destroy them, you don't need an atom bomb. Why? Because they're already dead. What effect is there going to be in their dua? What effect is there going to be in their connection with Allah? Very often youngsters come and they ask, they say, Shaykh, Maulana, I can't concentrate in salah. I can't concentrate in my ibadah. It's another topic, I'm not going to go into the details, but if nothing else, take this much. Can't call kar sublena, listen to the ears of Iman. Like wudu is a condition for salah. Wudu, without wudu there is no salah. You have to make wudu first, then there is salah. In the same way, for concentration and the ecstasy of salah, controlling this gaze is a condition. Lower your gaze and Allah will give you Jannat on the Musalla. Lower your gaze. That filth, that poison has entered the homes of the Ummah. Such instruments under the guise of technological advancement have entered the homes of the Ummah. That today, husband and wife will be sharing one bed. Husband is making zina with someone, wife is making zina with someone else. The Ummah today has become a living embodiment of that warning of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, Ya'ti ala nasi zamanun. He said, a time will come upon my Ummah. A man will have Iman in the morning, by the evening he will have become a kafir. Person will have Iman, yusbihu rajulu mu'minan, wa yumsi kafiran, wa yusbihu mu'minan. Ulama explaining this hadith. They say, yusbihu rajulu mu'minan. Translation is not literal. He said a man will have Iman in the morning, by the evening will become kafir. A man will have Iman in the evening, by the morning will have become kafir. They say one is literal. The other is the underlying meaning of this hadith. Yusbihu rajul. Iman in the morning means the environment outside the home will be such that will lead to kufr. Person will have Iman in the evening. Where is a person normally in the evening in his home? In other words, the home was supposed to be a fortress of Iman. Rasulullah's prophecy is telling of a time when the instruments of kufr and zulmat will enter the homes of the ummah also. And my ummah will lose their Iman in their homes. This is why it is the cry, the lament of our elders. Hazrat Maulana Suleiman Khatani, when he was asked this question, What is the object of Masturat effort? Throughout the world, Masturat Jamaat, ladies Talim, so much of effort is taking place. You must ask, what is the khulasa, what is the essence, what is the object of the entire Masturat effort? Simple answer he gave. He said, Garo ki Talim, Garo ki Talim, Garo ki Talim. Introduce the halaqat of Talim in every home of the world. قال الله قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم جاء الحق وزهق الباطل. This is Allah's sunnah. Bring the light, darkness will be dispelled. Introduce the halaqat of Talim in every home of the Ummah, say inshallah. This is not hidayat for others, this is hidayat for you and I. Muzakara of Iman, Muzakara of Jannat, Muzakara of Jahannam, Qabr, Akhirat, Akhlaq, Seerah. Bring this into the home of the Ummah. Take out quality time. The whole family sit together. Least benefit, like how the stars shine to us, wallah, our homes will shine to the malaika. This is the Qadesha, this is the solution. Nevertheless, like I said, I digress. This town, Jiza, they were telling it, they gave us Karguzari of 1%. He had such a boiling temperament that they said about him if he's sitting on a normal day, he'll start perspiring. Some people, their natures are like that. Become angry very quickly. They said this person once, he took a knife and he chased his own father. His wife was petrified of him. He had such a boiling temperament. The Jamaat got hold of him. He went out for 3 days in the path of Allah. 3 days. That itself is another issue. I'm not going to go into the detail. But suffice to say, unfortunately today, my respected brothers, many of us are of this mindset that the Qurbani and sacrifice of Tabligh is to come out. Come out for professional tashkil will take place. Come out 40 days, come out 4 months. And mashallah, if you get ready, person thinks that mashallah, this is the object, this is the Qurbani. Wallah, that is not the Qurbani. Coming out is not the Qurbani, coming out is the starting point. The Qurbani is how that time is spent. How that time is spent, that connection with Allah developed. These amal, da'at, ibadat, khidmat. Hazrat Maulana Hasan Sahib Rahmatullah used to say, एक के वक्त को गुजारना, एक के वक्त को बनाना. Time by nature will pass. He said one is to pass the time, the other is to make the time. What Bante Amal said, time is made valuable when the time is populated with Amal. Like I said, I'm not going into the detail, we'll hear Hidayat talk later. Suffice to say, simple example. Maulana Suleiman used to say 40 days in the path of Allah is not 40 days. 40 days in the path of Allah is 40 tahajjud. It's 40, 2.5 to 3 hours ijtimai taaleem. It's 40 crying in dua, half an hour, 1 hour. It's 40 lengthening your ruku, lengthening your sajda, making effort on your salah. It's 40 of your zikr, your askar. For each of those amal, to such an extent he would say that 40 days is 40 tahajjud. If you miss one tahajjud, start the 40 days again. Qurbani is not coming out. This is shaitan's deception that he makes satisfies you, mashallah, he came out. That's not the Qurbani. Qurbani is how the time is spent. Wallah, this is such a gift, such a jewel that Allah opened upon the heart of Maulana Yasab Rahmatullah alayhi. That in a short space of time, if this time is spent correctly, he will become the wali of Allah. 3 days this man spent, but he spent the 3 days correctly. What happened? After 3 days, knocks at the door. The wife, obviously, she had remembered his past legacy. Now, when she opens the door, he's smiling at her. And he makes salam. She almost fainted. First time in this man's life, he smiled, he makes salam. Whole nature changed. The father, who he took a knife and went after, he goes and kisses the feet of his father and asks him for forgiveness. This woman goes to all the women in that village, the town of Jiza. Our Jamaat was this kind of Islamic will be there. She told all the women, send your husband out in the bathroom. This is the name, akhlaq, character. Maulana radiallahu ta'ala anha. This was the last nikah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. She was fairly young. One night, Allah's Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam leaves the house to go and relieve himself. Innocent act, going to relieve himself. She was young, human nature. The wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, on the one hand, what does Quran tell us? Ya nisa an-nabi, lastunna ka-ahadin minan nisa. The all wives of the Prophet, all the wives of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, lastunna ka-ahadin minan nisa. There are no women like you. Till Qiyamah there will not be women like that, like our mothers. النبي أولى بالمؤمنين من أنفسهم وأزواجهم أمهاتهم. The wives of Rasulullah are the mothers of the ummah. Women of such exemplary akhlaq, character, taqwa, piety. These were chosen by Allah. But they were insan also. And sabr, listen and to be told to the ummah. So what happens? Maimuna wakes up. Rasulullah is not there. Naturally the thought comes in the heart just for a little while that maybe he's gone to one of the other wives. She becomes upset. So what does she do? She locks the door. Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he returns, he finds the door locked. She refuses to open. She's upset. One hand, who is this? Who is this? The Quran does not get tired of praising him. Interspersed throughout Quran is mention of the body parts of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alam nashrah laka sadrak, the chest of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alladhi anqadha dhahrak, the back of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. La tamuddanna aynayk, the eyes of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. La taj'al yadak, the hand of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Maghlulatan ila unuqik, the neck of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. نزل به الروح الأمين على قلبك, the heart of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. لا تحرك به لسانك, the tongue of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قد نرى تقلب وجهك, the face of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Somewhere the face, somewhere the tongue, somewhere the heart, somewhere the back, somewhere the chest, somewhere the hand, somewhere the neck. And then Allah brings all this together. La amruk, by the oath of the life of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That maqam, that status. The wife has locked the door. He hasn't committed something wrong. He's totally innocent. Yet, what does he say? Inni hakim. Inni hakim. I have to relieve myself. And then he says to her, Nabi will not make this thought after a little while. What is the anger? Upset. Then after a little while, some perspective comes. She realizes this is the Nabi of Allah. He's not going to make khiyanat. So finally, one hand, look at the embarrassment. Locked out of his own house in the dead of the night in Medina Munawwara, the greatest of Allah's creation. So she gets up, opens the door. What is the reaction? Turn the clock front. What would you and I be doing? Allahu Akbar. He smiles at her. Enters the house, not one word or utterance of complaint. This is akhlaq. This is character. And this character, this akhlaq, wallah, my respected brothers, can't call them sullena. This akhlaq, develop this character. What will Allah give you? One is a man who will fast every day. Fast every day. And make tahajjud salah, make isha and fajr with the same wuzu for the rest of his life. One is the Jannah that Allah will give that person. Greater than that is the Jannah that Allah will give this person of akhlaq. ما من شيء أثقل في ميزان العبد المؤمن يوم القيامة من خلق حسن. There is nothing more weighty in the scale of deeds on the day of judgment than akhlaq and character. أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا أحسنهم خلقا. He said the most kamil, the most complete believer, so far as his iman is concerned, is the one with the best akhlaq and character. And what is the crunch test? What is the crunch test? What is the crunch test of in character? It is your relationship with your wife. Your relationship with your family. خياركم لنسائهم. Mafhum of the hadith. He said, إِنَّ مِنْ أَحَبِّكُمْ إِلَيَّ وَأَقْرَبِكُمْ مِنِّي مَجْلِسًا. The most beloved of you in eyes to me. The most beloved to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the closest to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of judgment. أَلْتَفُهُمْ بِأَهْلِي. Will be the one who was kindest to his wife. The homes today are on fire. Why? Because we have equated commercially, we have equated domestic stability with finance, with wealth. Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us domestic stability, love, affection in the home is not dependent on the size of your bank balance. It is dependent on akhlaq and character. How often we hear this expression? I got the jewelry sets ready. I got the jewelry sets ready, so my daughter is ready for marriage. Or my son qualified, he's got his degree, his earning power is there, so he's ready for marriage. Ask yourself the question, my respected brothers, have we given them the degree or the jewelry set of the akhlaq and character of Rasulullah? Have we taught them tolerance? Have we taught them forgiveness? Have we taught them to overlook? Have we taught them appreciation? Have we taught them controlling your temper? Sahabi comes, O Sini Ya Rasulullah, give me advice on the way of Allah. What does my Nabi say? La taghdab, la taghdab, la taghdab. What is la taghdab? Literal translation, don't become angry. That is not what the hadith means. You are not commanded with anything that is beyond your ability. Human beings, Allah has wired you like that. You will become angry. So when the Nabi says, La taghdab, it doesn't mean don't become angry. What does it mean? Do not give in to the dictates of anger. La taghdab. Zidni Ya Rasulullah. Nabi of Allah, give me more advice. Second advice, la taghdab. Third time, la taghdab. Fourth time, la. 7 times, same question, 7 times, same answer. Don't give in to the dictates of your anger. When Allah describes the people of taqwa in the Quran, Allah says, we made Jannah for them. Who are they? وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ. They are those that shrink up, that swallow their anger. Where is this akhlaq? Where is the talk of it? Even our 6 points of tabligh, mashallah, first point, shandar. Second point, to some extent, let's skip the rest of 6 points. The beauty of this da'i, the attraction of this da'i is akhlaq. Hafiz Patel Sahib, rahmatullah, Allah fully covered with nur. I remember in Madinah Munawwara, one day he caught my hand in the haram. In the haram. The Rawda of Rasulullah was in front. He caught my hand. And he said, on a hot day, you are perspiring, it's boiling hot. Someone else is eating ice cream. What happens? You look at him and you start salivating. He is eating the ice cream, you are salivating. He said, go and tell everyone who is engaged in the work of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Go and tell everyone that is engaged in the work of Dawat and Tabligh that adopt the akhlaq and character of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the kafir of this world, like on a hot day when someone is eating ice cream, you start salivating. If the da'i will adopt the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the kafir of this world just looking at you will salivate to enter into Islam. Read Seerah. This is a lie of the Orientalists that Islam was spread through the sword. Sahaba didn't give big bayans or big speeches. What did they do? Kunu mithlana. Wherever they went, they said, become like us. People hankered to become like them. Such was the akhlaq, compassion, character, generosity of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Once he spends on the person, what does this person do? He goes back to his people. Aslim. فَإِنَّ مُحَمَّدًا يُعْطِي لَا يَخْشَى فَاقًا. He says, oh my people, every one of you accept Islam, because in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam I've seen such generosity like a man who does not fear poverty. He said, أَنْفِقْ يُنْفَقْ عَلَيْكَ. Spend, Allah will spend on you. Da'i is the epitome of generosity. Nevertheless, I digress, coming back to that incident. Shireen says to Khusru Parvez, 4,000 dinars you gave to an ordinary fisherman. Look at what your treasure is. Look at what your ministers will expect. Your whole treasury will get finished. Take it back from him. So he says, I gave him a gift. How can I take it back? He says, okay, I'll show you one plan. Call him and ask him if the fish that he gave you is male or female. If he tells you it's male, tell him you wanted female. And if he tells you it's female, tell him you wanted male. So he says, okay. So he sends for the fisherman. Fish, mashallah, those that do fishing, they're quite astute. So he realizes he's got a problem. So when Khusru Parvez asks him, tell me that fish you gave me is male or female, he says, Badsha Salamat, you are my king. How can I give you an ordinary fish? I chose that one specially for you. This fish is between male and female. It's transvestite. He becomes so excited, he says to his treasurer, give you another 4,000. Now this man is carrying this 4,000 dinars, and while carrying it, 1 and 2 dinars fall down. He picks that one up also. Shireen is boiling. I told you to take it back, you gave him another 4,000. Call him back. He says, now what I'm going to do? I gave it to him. She says, see what a bakhil is, what a miserly person he is. That you gave him enough for the next 5 generations he doesn't have to earn. And still that 1 or 2 coins that fell, he picked that one up also. He didn't even leave that. Call him and tell him he's a miserly person and take everything back. So he summons the fisherman. Now this man is even more worried. So he comes in front of the king, he says, what kind of a person you are? That 1 or 2 coins that fell up, you didn't even leave that, I gave you so much. What kind of a miser you are? He says, Badsha, Salam and king. I didn't pick it up, you are such a generous person, I knew for the next 5 generations I don't have to work. I didn't pick it up because I needed it. Your picture is on it. Imagine if someone had to step on it and show disrespect to you, I couldn't allow that. He becomes so excited, he says to you, I'll give you another 4,000. The advisors say to the king, stop listening to your wife, otherwise the whole treasury will get finished on this one man. Kafir. But because of generosity, ulama mentioned, ulama of tariq, that Allah gave a long kingdom because of his generosity. لا تخدعن لمخلوقنا لا طمع لا تخدعن لمخلوقنا لا طمع فإن ذلك مضر منك بالدين واسترزق الله واسترزق الله مما في خزائنه فإنما هي بين الكاف والنور. Do not demean yourself by putting your gaze on the creation, by having lavish and greed for what others have. Why? فإن ذلك مضر منك بالدين. This will destroy your deen. وَاسْتَرْزِقِ اللَّهِ. Turn to Allah. Ask from Allah. Beg from Allah. مِمَّا فِي خَزَائِنِهِ. Put your gaze on the treasures of Allah, because what are the treasures of Allah? فَإِنَّمَا هِيَ بَيْنَ الْكَهْفِ وَالنُّورِ. For Allah, إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَنْ يَقُولَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونُ. Allah's affair is such, when Allah decides something, Allah says be, and it becomes. كن فيكون. ولما say أمره بين الكاف والنور. Allah doesn't even have to say kun. Allah is a phrase between the kaf and noon. وَمَا أَمْرُنَا إِلَّا كَلَمْحِ الْبَصَرِ أَوْ هُوَ أَقْرَبُ. وَمَا أَمْرُنَا إِلَّا كَلَمْحِ الْبَصَرِ أَوْ هُوَ أَقْرَبُ. What does Quran tell us? Allah's affair, Allah's decree, blinking of an eyelid. Faster than that. 100 times this dunya, 1,000 times this dunya. There is no limit to the treasures of Allah. This is Quran. Quran is haq. La rayba fi. Yamhaqu Allahu riba. From inside, the scholars to come. La rayba fi. Then Quran is hidayah. Yurbi sadaqat. Allah will multiply sadaqah. La rayba fi. Success is in amal. Success is not in wealth. From inside. La rayba fi. Allah's lanat and curse is upon life. La rayba fi. Develop akhlaq and character from inside. La rayba fi. Wa inna dar al-akhirata lahiya al-hayawan. Wa inna dar al-akhirah lahiya al-hayawan. Look at this emphasis. Look at the emphasis in Quran. Those who understand Arabic, wow, one level of emphasis. Inna, definitely, without a doubt, second level of emphasis. Then alif lam, third level of emphasis. Then dar al-akhirah, mudaf mudaf ilayh, fourth level of emphasis. Wa inna al dar al-akhirah, four levels of emphasis. Lam again, fifth level of emphasis. Here again, sixth level of emphasis. Al-Hayawan, Al-Hayawan, Alif Lam again. 7 levels of emphasis. Wa inna dar al-akhirata lahi al-hayawan. What is Allah saying? The life of akhirat, that is the life. Life of dunya is not a life. What is dunya? Ayyam ma'dudat. Mata'ul ghurur. Mata'un qalil. واضرب لهم مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء أنزلناه من السماء فاختلط به نبات الأرض فأصبح هشيما تذروه الرياح وكان الله على كل شيء مقتدرا. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير املا. زين للناس حب الشهوات من النساء والبنين والقناطير المقنطرة من الذهب والفضة والخيل المسومة والأنعام والحرث ذلك متاع الحياة الدنيا والله عنده حسن المآب. من كان يريد العاجلة عجلنا له فيها ما نشاء لمن نريد ثم جعلنا له جهنم يصلاها مذموما مدحورا ومن أراد الآخرة وسعى لها سعيها وهو مؤمن فأولئك كان سعيهم مشكورا. How many places Allah calls out, Allah denigrates this dunya, this entire economical system, this back door of dunya, every direction, this batil propaganda machinery, dunya, 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 paisa, 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 idols of industry, idols of wealth, idols of gold, idols of silver, idols of commodity, and at the altar of these idols, every law of Allah is being broken. Lies have become the order of the day. Treachery has become the order of the day. Dishonesty has become the order of the day. So that today the man's head is in sajda. Head is in sajda. How close is he to Allah? Rasulullah said, Aqrabu, Aqrabu, ma yakunu al-abd ila rabbihi azza wa jalla wa huwa sajid. He said it is impossible, impossible, impossible for you to go any closer to Allah than you are when you are in sajda. How close is Allah to you and I? وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ. Allah says, we created you. We know what your heart is whispering to you. And how close are we to you? وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ بِحَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. Allah says, we are closer to you than your jugular vein. We are closer to you than your jugular vein. Yet, when you go into sajda, you are even closer to Allah. even closer, aqrab. Like Qasam Majzoor, Rahmatullah used to say, मैं जब सजदा में सर रख दूं, तो जमीन को आसमान कर दूं. But when I place my head in sajda on the ground, outwardly it looks like sajda you are making on this earth. The earth becomes the heaven. The earth becomes the heaven. Like the poet says, فَمَنْ قَامَ لِلتَّكْبِيرِ لَاقَتْهُ رَحْمَةٌ فَمَنْ قَامَ لِلتَّكْبِيرِ لَاقَتْهُ رَحْمَةٌ وَكَانَ كَعَبْدٍ بَابُ مَوْلَاهُ يَقْرَأُ وَصَارَ لِرَبِّ الْعَرْشِ صَلَاتِهِ نَجِيًّا فَيَا طُوبَاهُ لَوْ كَانَ يَخْشَى. When a man stands in the musalla and says, Allahu Akbar, what happens? لَاقَتْهُ رَحْمَةٌ. The mercy of Allah rains down. وَكَانَ كَعَبْدٍ بَابُ مَوْلَاهُ يَقْرَأُ. What is his example? His example is like that person who is knocking at the door of Allah's arsh. بَابُ مَوْلَاهُ يَقْرَأُ وَصَارَ لِرَبِّ الْعَرْشِ حِينَ صَلَاتِهِ نَجِيًّا. And when he starts his salah, he is in direct communion with Allah. فَيَا طُوبَاهُ لَوْ كَانَ يَخْشَوْا. Like the poet says, Mubarak, glad tidings to him, if only he would have khushu and khuzu in that salah. If only he would be attentive in that salah. This is Quran. This is Quran. La rayba fi. What does Allah say? Qad. Qad is like a hammer. Qad is like a hammer. Definitely, without a doubt, Qad aflahal mu'minun. The people of Iman have become successful. They are successful. Dunya is theirs, Qabr is theirs, Akhirat is theirs, Jannat is theirs. Qad aflahal mu'minun. What is the first quality? First quality of falah, of success, of dignity, of achievement. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. This call, this cry, kalima namaz, kalima namaz, kalima namaz, come out in the path of Allah. Make effort on your salah. Someone standing behind you, when they see you going into ruku, they must think you're not going to wake up from that ruku. When they see you going into sajda, they must think you're not going to raise your head up from that sajda. That type of salah, that mush, that effort. This is not some agenda, it's not an organization. Connect with Allah. Qatada narrates the riwayat. ذُكِرَ لَنَا أَنَّ دَانِيَالَ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ ذُكِرَ لَنَا أَنَّ دَانِيَالَ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ نَادَى أُمَّةَ مُحَمَّدٍ صلى الله عليه وسلم. Several thousand years before this ummah could come into existence, Daniel alayhi salam praised the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. An ummah is coming, an ummah is coming, an ummah is coming. Allah will give this ummah salah. Allah will give this ummah salah. Such a salah, such a salah. لو صلاها قوم نوح ما غلقوا ولو صلاها قوم عاد أو قوم ثمود ما أخذتهم الصيحة وما أرسلت عليهم الريح العقيم. If the ummah of Nuh alayhi salam had been given the same salah that the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be given, then they would never have drowned. If Qawm Aad or Qawm Thamud were given the same salah that you and I had, that azab of Allah, that punishment of Allah that befell those nations would never have befallen them if they were given the salah of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Such a salah, such a means, such a medium this ummah was given. This is why it is the cry of our elders, make effort on that salah, connect with Allah. What was the night of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Quran tartila, he would recite Quran in his salah. I digress. First condition, la rayba fi. La rayba fi, Quran will be hidayat, Quran will be guidance. When from inside this call, La rayba fi, there is absolutely no doubt in Quran. This is the tool of hidayah. My Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, whole night cried. Aisha asked, Ya Rasulullah, what happened? He said, how can I not cry? When Jibreel came with these verses, Inna fi khalqi samawati wal ard, wa ikhtilafi al-layli wal nahar, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, in the variation of day and night, la ayat, are signs, li'ulil albab, for the people of intelligence. What is intelligence? Who are the people of intelligence? الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض. This is intelligence. This is the ma'yar and medium of intelligence. Allah is showing us who is intelligent. Who are the people of intelligence? Those who remember Allah, make zikr of Allah, speak about Allah, qiyaman, qu'udan, ala junubihim, standing, sitting on their side. This doesn't mean take a tasbih only. Yes, the benefit of zikr. My Nabi said, Jaddidu imanakum, refresh your iman, refresh your iman. How? La ilaha illallah. He said, إِنَّ هَذِهِ الْقُلُوبَ تَسْتَعْ كَمَا يَسْتَوِ الْحَدِيدِ. He said, like steel rusts, like steel hardens, like steel degenerates. The hearts of humanity degenerate also. Sahaba said, Ma jilauha. Ya Rasulullah, what is the marham? What is the solace? What is the cleansing process of the heart? He said, Tilawatul Quran, Tilawatul Quran, Tilawatul Quran. Read the Quran. Connect with the Quran. Quran is not only for Ramadan. Usman Taymi rahimahullah says, I entered the Haram of Makkah. I saw Usman ibn radiallahu ta'ala anhu. When it was the month of Ramadan, Usman was making tahajjud salah. He said, I stood behind him. This curiosity was piqued in my heart. How long tahajjud would Usman lay? He says, he started Surah Fatiha. I thought in my heart, when will he go into ruku? He says, Usman went into ruku when he reached Surah Nas. The entire Quran in one rakat of tahajjud salah. And what would Usman radiallahu ta'ala say? لَوْ تَهُرَتْ قُلُوبُكُمْ مَا شَبِعْتُمْ مِنْ كَلَامِ اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. If your hearts were pure, you would never get tired of listening to Quran. Taharat of the heart, cleanliness of the heart, softening of the heart. يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ. These are the people of intelligence. They remember Allah standing, sitting on their side. وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And they ponder and reflect. How did this drop of sperm become a human being? Myriad types of food, where is it coming from? How is the rainwaters falling? How is the crops growing? Everything around us. Everything around us is shouting out. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Inna lihada al-khalqi khaliq. There is a creator for this. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح المصباح في زجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار نور على نور نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء. Allah is the nur, Allah is the effulgence, Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. Everything is shining with the nur of Allah. Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Sahab rahmatullah used to say, हम इसलिए नहीं कहते हैं कि अल्लाह की बड़ाई बयान करो, क्योंकि ये एक स्कीम है जिसके जरिए से आप लोगों को चिल्लने के लिए तैयार करेंगे. We are not saying to you, give da'wah to Allah's greatness, make zikr of Allah, speak about Allah, invite towards Allah, talk. Bring your tongues and with the attention of Allah. We are not saying to you, because this is some scheme that the Tabligh Jamaat thought of to increase numbers or to prevent people to go for chilla and 3 chillas. No. हम इसलिए कहते हैं कि अल्लाह की बड़ाई बयान करो, क्योंकि अल्लाह का हक है कि उसकी तरफ है. We are saying to you, speak of Allah's greatness, because it is the right of Allah. It is the right of Allah that His praises should be sung. Makhluk ka zikr bimari hai, to talk of the creation is a sickness. This pop star, that music personality. Look at our youth today. What has come onto the tongue? Who are the role models? Who are we? Who are we emulating? Who are we following? Makhluk ka zikr bimari hai. To talk of the creation is a sickness. To talk of the creator is its cure. La tukthirul kalam. La tukthirul kalam bi ghayri dhikrillah. Rasulullah said, do not excessively speak of Ghayrullah. Do not excessively speak of Ghayrullah. فَإِنَّ كَثْرَةَ الْكَلَامِ بِغَيْرِ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ يُكَسِّرُ الْقَلْبِ. Because excessive Ghayrullah will harden the heart. وَإِنَّ أَبْعَدَ النَّاسِ مِنَ اللَّهِ الْقَلْبُ الْقَاسِي. The person who is furthest away from Allah is the one whose heart has become hard. Allah's qasam. We run out of time. My respected brothers, this call, this tashkil, this is not some agenda. It's not a numbers game. These amal, dawat, talim, ibadat, khidmat, coming out in the path of Allah, coming into this environment. This is ihya'ul qalb. This is to soften the heart. This is to give life to the heart. What was the night of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Whole night crying. Earlier today, Maulana Wasim Saab, Allah give him long life. He mentioned about Sheikh Yunus, 1993, our Jamaat, we went to driving markers, group of ulama. We went Sheikh Yunus, rahmatullah. First thing he told us, he said, Huzur ke fikr dil ke andar ho, aur raat ka kuch hissa Allah ko nahi de raha hai, ye namumkin hai. He said the worry of Rasulullah in the heart and some section of the night not given to Allah, this is impossible. Agar raat ka kuch hissa Allah ko nahi de raha hai, if some section of the night is not being given to Allah, it means that the worry of Rasulullah is not enough. The greatest etiquette of the work of Dawah and Tabligh is that what was the night of Rasulullah? What was his day? I'm going to terminate on this Sharif riwayat. No one more authorized to give us this description than our beloved mother, Sayyidina Aisha radiallahu ta'ala. She describes one particular night. She says Allah's Rasul was crying, tears down the cheeks into the beard, from the beard onto the ground, whole body writhing and shaking, night in, night out like this. This particular night he mentions the dua of two Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. One Khalilullah Ibrahim alayhi salam, فَمَنْ تَبِعَنِي فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي وَمَنْ عَصَانِي فَإِنَّكَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Oh Allah, those who will follow me, they are from me. Those who disobey me, you are merciful, you are forgiving, you are merciful. Then he said, Isa Ruhullah said to you, إِن تُعَذِّبْهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ عِبَادُكَ وَإِن تَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ فَإِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. Oh my Allah, if you forgive them, they are your slaves. If you punish their slaves, if you forgive them, you are mighty and wise. Then he said, Ya Allah, I'm not saying to you like Ibrahim Khalilullah said. And I'm not saying to you like Isa Ruhullah said. Ya Rabbi Ummati Ummati. Ya Rabbi Ummati Ummati. Ya Rabbi Ummati Ummati. No mother cried like this. No father cried like this. Dawah and Tabligh, this is not bayans, my respected brothers. It is this cry, this pain, this worry, this legacy of rahmat and mercy for one human being to be saved from Jahannam and Jannah. The Sahaba say, Ghazirun ka ghazirin miniature, the sound of a boiling kettle will come from the heart of Rasulullah. He prepared the Jamaat. If their wives had to become widows, they tolerated. If their children had to become orphans, they tolerated. If they had to leave Makkatul Mukarramah and Madinatul Munawwarah, they tolerated. If they had to give up their businesses and their livelihoods, they tolerated. And the altar of this, everything was given with one concern. One human being to be saved from Jahannam and enter into Jannah. This cry, Ya Rabbi ummati, ummati, Ya Rabbi ummati, ummati. No father, no mother cried like this. His cry made the malaika cry. His cry made the arsh of Allah cry. Jibreel said, Quran comes down. Ulama have enumerated 150 verses like this in the Quran. لعلك باقع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث. لعلك باقع نفسك ألا يكونوا مؤمنين. ما أنت عليهم بجبار، لست عليهم بوكيل، لست عليهم بمسيطر. من كفر فلا يحزنك كفر، فلا تذهب نفسك عليهم حسرات. ولقد نعلم أنك يضيق صدرك بما يقولون. ما أكثر الناس ولو حرصت بمؤمن. Verse upon verse. Almost as if Allah is pleading with him, oh my beloved, it's not your fault. This is Allah's sunnah. It's not your fault, not your shortcoming. Still, Ya Rabbi ummati, Ya Rabbi ummati, ummati. Jibreel said, why are you crying? Oh Jibreel, the worry of my ummah is making me cry. Jibreel is sent back with the solace and comfort. Sanurdika fi ummati. Sanurdika fi ummati. Oh my beloved, stop crying. We will please you with regards to your ummah. Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anhu says, La arda Muhammad. وَوَاحِدٌ مِّنْ أُمَّتِهِ فِي النَّارِ. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will never be happy as long as one ummati is in Jahannam. Where is this cry today? Where is this worry for humanity today? Is it only the ringing of coins? Is it only beautiful homes and worldly luxuries and worldly comforts? Has Allah sent us with this? Allah, my respected brothers, through the barakat of the Khatm al-Nubuwwat of Janab Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Every reciter of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Every believer in the finality of the Nubuwwat of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has been made responsible for this cry, for this concern, for this day, for this night. Sahaba understood. That is why 90% of the qubur and graves are scattered throughout the world. Makkah and Medina, you won't find 10% of the graves of Sahaba. What was behind this? This cry, this concern for one person to be saved from Jahannam and go to Jannah. This call to come out in the path of Allah, this is that, this doubt, this pain, this concern to come in us. So don't look left, don't look right. Don't look at the pocket, don't look at the circumstances. Not you, not I can take one step in Allah's path without Allah's acceptance. So my respected brothers, put the standing up that we are going to do now. Time is very limited, but this is a very, very Mubarak time. The dying hours of the day of Jumu'ah. Malaika saying Ameen also. This is a time when du'as are accepted. Put this supplication in Allah's court. Ya Allah, accept me for your deed. From inside. Ya Allah, accept me for your deed. And to qualify that first step, those of us who haven't been for 4 months, now stand up. Ya Allah, accept me 4 months in the path of Allah. Stand up, friends. And those of us who have been for 4 months every year, don't wait. Stand up. Our standing will encourage others to stand also. No one should be left out. Wallah, more than us, and the Malaika of Allah. They are also saying Ameen.
Allah, inshallah, have not tried to prepare for Ramadan, inshallah.